Hey guys, it's Jenny. Alrighty, so here it is, the first haul of the summer. I told you yesterday in the story time that I made a haul from Cattleya 2 yet again. Orchid Man, for whatever reason, doesn't post as many listings. So I don't know, maybe he's taking a break. But anyway, Cattleya 2 never takes a break and I'm there to purchase stuff from him. A couple of weeks ago, he had all sorts of Cattleya type orchids that I've always had on my wish list. And they were looking really nice and really healthy, so I just had to buy them. But my haul also includes a Phalaenopsis, which you might already know. She's very oily, lost the 2 upper leaves, that's that. So let's see what I purchased, because these are quite the special orchids, at least for me. Let's start with the Phalaenopsis. Alrighty, so surprisingly enough, yes, I did purchase a Phalaenopsis. Let me just show you the name though, you might know it. This is DTPS apparently, Chinese Gold Staff Fortune. Now, in case you don't know what this orchid is, Astrid has purchased it a long time ago. So I will include in the description down below Astrid's video on this orchid. She was in bloom. It's a really pretty stripy Phalaenopsis, quite unlike the other complex hybrids, which is also fragrant. So yes, I had to have it. Ever since I saw Astrid's video, I kept searching for this one in the stores and flower shops. I've never seen it. I think it is very popular in the USA. I know a few of you guys have found it and have purchased it. So this was my opportunity. The orchid herself is actually healthy, and in the picture of the listing it looked very well. Problem was the oil on the 2 upper leaves. I don't know how it got there. I checked the orchid, it doesn't have traces of spider mites, at least not on the lower leaves. But on the 2 upper leaves, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was spider mite damage, maybe it was oil damage at that point. I don't know, but I did lose the crown, or actually the 2 top leaves. I'm hoping the crown will start to produce leaves once again, but at this point I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen. Now the bottom leaves didn't have oil, but of course they touched the upper leaves. So this had some oil on it, particularly at the tip. And it's a little bit flimsy and leathery, this one too. This one again had a little bit of oil at the tip. This looks a little better. So yeah, not entirely sure if this orchid is completely okay. I am seriously thinking to get a refund. I don't usually get refunds if my reasons are not all that reasonable, if you know what I mean. Orchids are fragile things and stuff can happen on transport, but this, it was too oily. It's a bit too much. I'm seriously thinking to get a refund on this one. It was really not worth the 15 euros. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because even if this orchid survives, it's gonna be a long recovery process. I mean, at least 2 to 3 years until I get a proper keiki, proper crown and flowering and all of those things. So sadly, this was a bit of a fail. I talked to Peter in the meantime and he says that this is how he received it from his provider. So I'm not sure what happened, but there we go. Sadly, this is not a very good purchase, but the orchid herself is actually really pretty. The other 3 orchids that I purchased though were really good purchases. So let's start with this one. Now this really pretty creature, let's see, I'm not entirely sure which one this is. Okay, this is Laeliocattleya Zip. And the picture that I'm gonna show you is the picture from the listing. It came from one of the orchids and the flower doesn't really do it justice. I suspect it was in bloom when Peter acquired it and it was mangled on transport. This is a red Cattleya actually with a purple lip. And if you Google the name, although I don't suggest you Google LC Zip, Google Cattleya Zip or Laeliocattleya Zip so you see better pictures. If you see the flower on Google, it's so amazing. Peter had this one for sale last year as well, but yet again it was out of my budget. I didn't purchase it, but I put it on my wish list and behold, this year I saw it. I just needed to have it, so I purchased it. And it arrived with a sheath. Let me give you a close-up. The orchid herself is in really good condition. I had to repot all of them because the medium was really loose actually, which is good, but in transport it gets a little bit messed up, so I already repotted them. This is the new growth that looks really good, doesn't have new roots yet, so everything is okay, and it has a little sheath. I'm not sure if it's gonna bloom, but if it will, I'm just gonna be so happy. Now something escapes my memory. I'm not sure if this orchid is fragrant. It is a Laelia tenebrosa cross if I'm not mistaken, so I'm not entirely sure about the fragrance. But I didn't purchase it for the smell, I purchased it, of course, for the red. I just love red flowers. And in pictures, the flower seems to be quite big, so I'm sure it will be a great show when it finally decides to bloom. As you can see, I'm developing quite a big crush on Cattleyas. But actually, they do like my environment. It's warm, it's sunny. They are actually really easy for me to grow in my climate. And they have the advantage that many of them are just so beautiful and they're so fragrant. I really love Cattleyas. Alrighty, this thing. Oh, this has been on my wish list for a long time. I don't remember where I saw it first, maybe at Wade's, but then Ana Maria had it and a few of you other guys had it. I just really wanted it. This is BL Yellow Bird. This is a Brassavola cross, ticks a lot of boxes for me. It is fragrant, it is yellow, and what's more interesting with this orchid, when it blooms, or actually when the bloom opens, at first it is pink, and then in a day or two or so, it turns into a beautiful yellow. How amazing is that? I just love flowers that change colors in time, even if it is after one day. The shape of the flower is really similar to Brassavola's, yet again, ticks a box for me. Has a beautiful lip, supposedly a beautiful smell that I think will resemble Brassavola's. It is a vigorous plant as far as people say. We have a new growth here. I don't really see a sheath yet. It might be here, it's not mature yet. This one appears to have been in bloom. You can see a flower spike here, and it's also creating a new growth. This orchid didn't have the best of root systems, I have to say, but that's okay. If I know Brassavolas, I know they are hardy orchids. They will produce a new root system pretty fast, and they are the type of orchids that are very willing to produce roots once again. One thing I didn't expect with this orchid was its size. Sometimes in videos you cannot really tell how big orchids are, and the Brassavola family is quite diverse. You can have varieties that are bigger and varieties that are smaller, but this is a big orchid, you guys. I was expecting something like this, but no, it's quite the big orchid. It's not a space saver, although the canes are pretty slim, so you can definitely tie it up and save a little bit of space. But oh my goodness, I'm so happy about this one. I do get friends and people who want to see the greenhouse, and I'm always super happy to show off my greenhouse, but as it just so happens, nobody comes in the morning time when many orchids release the best fragrance. They always come in the evening or even at night when nothing is fragrant. So if I have the Brassavolas and Brassavola hybrids in bloom at night in the summertime or autumn, anytime it's warm, then things would be even better, right? Anyway, so the last one, yet again a Cattleya, and you've already seen this one. Now, Cattleya 2 has it as LC Laeliocattleya Lemon. I agree it's a Laeliocattleya, although with the recent reclassification, I'm not even sure. I'm still gonna keep the old names, the Laelias, the Cattleyas, Sophronitis, and all of those things, because at some point they did mean something and they made a certain distinction. And now I know when I see this shape with this elongated lip rather than broad, I know it may very well be a Laelia cross, which helps me identify orchids better. Laelias and Cattleyas are pretty similar care-wise, but with other orchids it doesn't apply. The little variation can make actually a little bit of a difference. So anyway, Laeliocattleya Lemon, it's actually a NoID. This is not the name for it. I had it a long time ago. I love this orchid. Problem with this, it's the slowest growing orchid in my collection. I kid you not. Even Paphiopedilums grow faster than this one. What's the problem? She only grows one pseudobulb per year, no matter what. At least this was the case with my older one, which is currently not in the best shape. We only have one pseudobulb on her. She had Fusarium, long story. But when it finally blooms, it's so rewarding. I know the flower is a little bit mangled, but it is absolutely beautiful, and it has a beautiful fragrance. To me, it reminds of lilacs, a little bit like lilies as well, but it's different from other lily kind of smelling like Cattleyas. It's, I think, lilac. I love the shape of the Laelias. I love the flat flowers and the downwards lip, of course. The fragrance is beautiful, so I was just absolutely happy that Cattleya 2 had it for sale. Ever since I purchased mine, which was about 3 years ago, I didn't see it for sale anywhere. Luckily, this orchid can be found in flower shops and garden centers from time to time. Here in Europe, I'm not entirely sure about USA, but if you ever see it, I think it's worth it. The fragrance is worth it, flowers look beautiful. Just know it grows very, very slow. So this was the first summer haul, and it fits because they're Cattleyas and they do enjoy my summers. But there will be another haul with yet again some summer orchids, but those are kind of special. And I was thinking of merging the two hauls, but in that video I'm gonna talk about something that I find important, or is important for me at least. The orchids that I'm gonna present are special, you're gonna see. So I'll just save that video for when they arrive, probably this week. Until then though, I'm currently adjusting this shelf here, which right now has all sorts of orchids. It doesn't have any type of order, but I already purchased lights. I'm gonna install them on this shelf, which will be a very highlight shelf. So I'm gonna install 2 light fixtures. I'm gonna make it a highlight shelf for all of these new Cattleyas that I just purchased. So we'll see, maybe we're gonna do it today or tomorrow. It's a kind of a holiday around here. We're all free, so we can work in the house. So alrighty, that was about it with my haul. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll keep you up to date and fingers crossed that the zip will bloom. I'm telling you, the flowers are spectacular as I see them on the internet. So alrighty, thank you so much for watching and bearing with me blabbing. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchids and plants videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye. I know I've been insisting on the St. Andre quite a lot recently, but I'm just so happy. Look how interesting. The bud is so big and almost fully formed, and the pseudobulb is completely lacking. The leaf has emerged about halfway if we consider the older leaves, and this bud is developing and growing with the speed of light. So if the Cattleya NoID Lemon is the slowest Cattleya that I have, this has to be the fastest Cattleya. Really looking forward to the flowers. Hope it will not disappoint.